Gilberto Ramirez is looking to make a comeback. And the guy that he's picked a comeback against, Gabe Rosado, is someone that, all things considered, he's going to have to take it to make it. Let's talk about Ramirez's comeback bout against Gabe Rosado. Coming up March 18th, live on Dazn, Gilberto Zerto Ramirez will be taking on King Gabe Rosado in a 12-rounder at light heavyweight. This is a return to the ring for Ramirez, who we last saw in November of 2022 when he took on Dmitry Bivol and challenged for Dmitry Bivol's WBA light heavyweight title. Also, a return to the ring for Gabe Rosado, who last fought in September of 2022, dropping a unanimous decision against Ali Amakmedev. The interesting thing about this fight is Gabe is pushing the limits, and Zerto got pressed to the limits in his fight against Bivol. They thought that coming in at the size that he brings to the ring in most of his fights, it would be some sort of advantage for Zerto. But it turns out that he, who is now 44-1 with 30 KOs, Gilberto is a fighter who has shown a lot of limitations, and Dmitry Bivol was able to expose that from him. And he didn't make adjustments when he was in the ring against Bivol, who is a pretty darn good boxer with lateral movement and footwork. Gabe Rosado, on the other hand, is what I like to consider a grizzled veteran. Grizzled veterans can get in there on one night, they can look bad. On another night, they can make you look bad. And Gabe's record now is 26-16 with 1 draw and 15 KOs. He probably fought his best when he was at middleweight, super middleweight. But now he's moving up to light heavyweight. And at the age of 37, Gabe is going to be a much smaller guy than Gilberto. I do not know how Ramirez was making super middleweight, because the gentleman, when you see he's not fighting, he's 200 pounds easy. And against Dmitry Bivol, he wasn't able to assert himself and have the advantages of weight and bullying, being 6'2" and a half with a 75-inch reach. Gilberto has enjoyed a lot of strength and power over other fighters. A former NABO champion, WBO super middleweight champion, he ran into a buzzsaw when he faced Dmitry Bivol, and he didn't seem to have the answers in that fight. So quite naturally, in his comeback. He's not looking for a quality boxer, a man who will have the good footwork and boxing technical capability like Bivol had. He needs someone who's going to be in front of him. And that's the picture that Gabe Rosado will be providing in this instance. Gabe is coming off of 3 losses in a row. The Akhmedov fight was a unanimous decision loss. Prior to that, it was a Shane Mosley Jr. majority decision, and then prior to that, against Jaime Munguia, he lost a unanimous decision. So we don't quite know what is going on with Gabe. His best outing, to me, out of his recent fights and losses, was a split decision loss in November of 2020 against Danny Jacobs. I feel like Gabe should have got that decision, and had he been granted the decision, he would have been on a more positive upward trajectory movement, but he didn't get that. That split decision loss hurt him, but he was able to come back in his very next fight against Beck the Bully, and he stopped Beck the Bully after being dropped early in the fight himself with one of Beck's tremendous body shots that he seems to always put people out with. He came back with that. Zurdo, on the other hand, against Bivol, showed more loopholes in his game than at any other time in his career. I personally believe that it has everything to do with fighting someone his own size. He has had tremendous size advantage over his numerous opponents, and that 44-win record looks kind of questionable when you have someone in there that's equally as big and strong as he. And the key component that's going to come down with both fighters going forward is endurance. Will Gabe be able to stand up to that strength of Gilberto? I'm not so certain he will, but I do believe Gabe is a gamer and he will hang tough in there. But he has suffered a lot of punishment in his career, and with Gilberto being 6 years younger, I'm not so certain that age is not going to show up here. Gabe very well may get old in this fight if he hasn't done so already. I am not trying to toss him in the grave or pour dirt on the coffin, but at some point you have to hold your horses and pull back. He's an exciting fighter. He's always been a pro. He will come and give his best effort. But against Ramirez, it's going to be a tough fight for him. I don't think that he's going to be able to go the distance with Zurdo because of their styles. Zurdo is a plotter, and he'll cut the ring off on you sometimes, and he'll just come at you. Gabe will try to move around a little bit, but there are going to be instances where he'll give you opportunities to land shots on him, and clean shots at that. And as Father Time begins to catch up, it is something that is not necessarily gonna prove to be a good thing for him. So I see Zurdo pulling this fight out with a late round stoppage, maybe a mid to late round stoppage. It'll be a comeback victory for him, and he'll be able to move on. I hope Gabe doesn't get hurt in this fight, but I support Gabe as a fighter and a true professional. This is Stormy B-Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, the third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know what you think about this fight that's coming up this Saturday, March 18th. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone remain safe.